Alright, let's go ahead and start quadratic equations, section 1.5. If you guys have questions on quadratics, you can either email me or you can email me through your Blackboard or my email address. And I have also put up the review questions, the practice questions on your Blackboard, and really want you guys to take a look at that if you're having trouble doing your quadratics. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the first problem. Solve by factoring 3x squared plus 12x is equal to 0. In this problem, from 3 and 12, I can factor the number 3. And from x and x squared, remember I always factor the lowest power, which is x. And now 3x times what gives me 3x squared? X. 3x times what gives me 12x? A positive 4. And that is equal to a 0. Remember, product of two terms is 0 if one of them is a 0. So 3x is equal to 0, or x plus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to negative 4 is your final answer. Problem 1b. It's not in a standard form, so I'm going to go ahead and bring everything to one side. So positive 8x comes to negative 8x. Negative 15 becomes positive 15 because you're moving it from one side to the other. And now I set it equal to 0. It's a quadratic, so I'm going to go ahead and factor. I'm going to find the factors of 15 that add up to negative 8, which would be x minus 5 and x minus 3, and that's equal to 0. Remember, product of two things is a 0 if one of them is a 0. So x minus 5 is 0, or x minus 3 is 0. So x is equal to 5, or x is equal to 3. Problem 2, they're asking us to solve by square root property. So that means we have to make sure the square is by itself. So I subtract in the problem 5x squared plus 1 is equal to 51. I have to subtract 1 on both sides. So I end up with 5x squared is equal to 50. The x squared is still not by itself, so I divide by 5. Divide by 5. So I get x squared is equal to 10. And how do I solve for x? By square rooting both sides. So x is equal to plus or minus square root of 10. Problem 2b, same procedure. I add 5 on both sides. So 2x squared minus 5 is equal to negative 55. Add 5. Add 5. I get 2x squared is equal to negative 50. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get x squared is equal to negative 25. I find the square root on both sides. So square root, square root. So I get x is equal to, remember, negative, so your answer has to be in I. So plus or minus 5i. Problem 2c. The square x minus 4 is not by itself. So I divide by 3. Divide by 3. I have x minus 4 squared is equal to 5. Remember, the square has to be by itself. And now I go ahead and find the square root. So when I square root both sides, I get x minus 4 is equal to plus or minus square root of 5. Alright, so x is equal to adding 4 plus or minus square root of 5. Problem 3a, they're asking us what term should be added to the binomial so it can become a perfect square. Remember, how do we do that? X squared minus 10x. This is the middle term. We divide by 2. So negative 10 divided by 2 is 5. We square the 5. That becomes a 25. So you go ahead and add 25. Alright. solve by completing a square. There's so many ways of completing a square. This is what I would like to do. X squared plus 6x. I'm taking the 11 on the other side. Remember, we take the middle term and divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And we square the 3, which gives us a 9. So when you add 9 on this side, you add 9 on the other side. And now what is this? This is simply x plus 3 squared. That's equal to 20. So the square is by itself, so I find the square root on both sides. So by finding the square root on both sides, I get x plus 3 is equal to plus or minus square root of 20. So I can go ahead and simplify the 20. 20 would be 4 times 5. 4 gets kicked outside as a 2, so plus or minus 2 radical 5. So x plus 3 is plus or minus 2 radical 5. So x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 2 radical 5. Problem 3c. We're going to go ahead and solve this by completing a square, but 3x squared minus 2x minus 2 is equal to 0. For us to go ahead and do it, the coefficient of x squared has to be 1. So what do? I divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. This gives me x squared minus 2/3 x minus 2/3 is equal to 0. Remember, I take the middle term, which is negative 2/3, and divide that by 2. Negative 2/3 divided by 2 gives you negative 2/6. And what do? You square this. That gives you 4/36. Or I can go ahead and simplify it, can I? That's 1/9. So now I have x squared minus 2/3x. Remember, I take the 2/3 to the other side. I add 1/9 here. I add 1/9 here. This would be x minus 1/3 squared. Common denominator of 3 and 9 is 9 times 3 times 3, and that will give me 7/9. So x minus 1/3 is equal to square root of 7/9 plus or minus. So x is equal to 1/3 plus or minus square root 7/9. We will be solving these problems using quadratic formula. So let's go ahead and write down the A. A is 3, B is negative 3, C is negative 4. Plug it in the formula. Minus B, so minus of minus 3, plus or minus B squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4AC. Sorry, excuse me. Over 2A. Once I have this, I'm going to go ahead and simplify this one. Negative of negative 3 is positive 3. It looks like an 8, but it's a 3. Plus or minus square root of negative 3 squared is 9. 4 times 4, 16, plus 3, 48 over 6. So that is 3 plus or minus square root of 57 over 6. So when I separate them, I have 3/6 plus or minus radical 57 over 6. I can simplify 3/6 to 1/2 plus or minus radical 57 over 6. Same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and use a quadratic formula. A is 1, B is negative 6, C is 10. Minus B, that is minus of minus 6, plus or minus B squared, negative 6 whole squared, plus, minus negative of negative 6 plus or minus b squared, which is negative 6 squared, minus 4ac. I kind of got carried away with the formula here, over 2 times a, which is 1. Negative of negative 6 is positive 6, plus or minus square of negative 6 is positive 36, minus 40 over 2. So that is going to be 6 plus or minus square root of negative 4 over 2. That is 6 plus or minus negative 4 is what? 2i over 2. When I simplify this, I get 3 plus or minus I. 5a, discriminant. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So the b here is negative 2, a here is 1, and c is 1. B squared is negative 2 squared minus 4ac. So I get 4 minus 4, that is 0. When the discriminant is 0, I have exactly 1 root. If you guys are confused how and why, then I would ask you or suggest you to go back and check your notes. 5b, the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, b is negative 4, a is 1, c is negative 5. B squared is negative 4 squared minus 4a and c. Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. That is 36. When the discriminant is positive, we have 2 real roots, or 2 real solutions. B squared minus 4ac. B here is negative 2. C is 3 and a is 4. So b squared is negative 2 squared minus 4ac. So this is 4 minus 4 times 4, 16, 16 times 3, 48. So that's negative 44. When the discriminant is, did I get the same answer both ways? I guess. Yeah, even the example has the same as this one. Okay, negative 44. If the discriminant is negative, I have 2 imaginary roots. That means my answers would have i's in it. Problem 6, they're asking us what method for solving a quadratic equation in this form. So if I tell you x squared is 9, then you would tell me x is plus or minus 3. So what method did you use here? You used a square root property. So the method you use here is square root. That's exactly what you're going to do here too. They're asking you use square to find. They gave you u square, and to find u, you're simply going to use the square root method.